In the collective minds of RPG lovers, Fallout New Vegas has earned a special place that most developers can only dream of. And yet, with all its accomplishments, it's still burdened to this day by its infamously rushed release, whereby some of the game that felt originally a tad unpolished has become glaringly underdeveloped. Now, whether this is the actual case or these are simply design choices in some instances remains to be seen. But in today's video, I want to talk about one such area that seems to be derided by players unanimously. Now, it should be noted, this list will forego interior locations such as the much maligned H&H Tool Factory that didn't live up to its in-game hype, or Camp McCarran's many doors driving players up the wall, and instead focus on an outdoor area on the vanilla map. That means no notable DLC such as the slog through Sierra Madre or the Divide. So, what is this location in question, I hear you ask? Well, I was actually going to talk about Camp Searchlight of all places. It used to stick in my mind as this annoying radiation-blanketed glowing ghoul getaway. When I replayed the area recently, I realized just how wrong I was. The area boasts a rich narrative in which the Legion had casually committed a heinous war crime, blowing up an NCR base and leaving its former residents to cook in the fallout. Plus, the town full of ghoulified soldiers, places to explore, and a quest involved made me realize just how much I underappreciated it. And also that I just hate getting irradiated. Which is fair, right? Unless you're one of those weirdo children of the atoms with that uranium fever. Who doesn't hate rads? But like Highway 95 and the death claws loitering in the nearby quarry, hating on an area because of its inherent difficulty is not what this list is about. And I don't think it's really reasonable. Searchlight's gated difficulty isn't just in enemies, it's needing sufficient rad resistance and radaways, which is part and parcel of the area, naturally gating it off from players that originally stumbled there until later levels. And its difficulty outside of the combat alone, which, admittedly, is good game design. However, just a stone's throw away, I then found the true subject of fan ire, the seemingly unanimously hated area called Searchlight Airport, and it seems I'm not alone. But why is it hated? Well, Searchlight Airport, found southeast of Searchlight Settlement, has all the hallmarks of a basic airport. It has decommissioned fighter jets and a big control tower, plus a shit ton of rad scorpions in the area. Now, it's not really that difficult, nor is it irradiated even. So what's the catch? Well, once you get into the gated facility, which is based on a real airport I might add, you can immediately investigate the area while being besieged with a torrent of rad scorpions. Annoying, but that's what happens in the wasteland. Although the area being flat ground makes them pretty hard to outrun if you can't jump atop a jet and simply shoot them out of harm's way. So you're either gonna get stung or you're just sitting there blasting. But here's the real rub. If you go in any direction of those fences, which takes a couple of minutes to traverse the entire landing strip, mind you, you're gated in, which is supremely frustrating when you then learn there is nothing in the airport in the way of exploring, as the buildings cannot be entered. I think the worst sin of all, outside the fact the area features multiple dead ends, is that it actively punishes you for exploring. Try and enter the airport? Guess again. What about underground outside? Forget it. Okay, you're done here. Try and leave through one side or another. Oh no, it's just full of more rad scorpions. Cheers. Now, it should be noted, you can find 200 to 1,000 caps depending on your luck, which who dumps stats into luck? Don't start spamming me in the comments you use luck. I know you don't. But it feels like this is a consolation prize by the devs, who had something really cool cooking here and ran out of time, so they shoved some hush money in a briefcase. And I also get that not every location is some secret surprise in a literal wasteland, and that naturally some areas are a bit of a nothing burger. But if Grand Theft Auto has taught me anything, is that it pays to break into airports. And I'm sorry if I don't have the lortism so high that simply witnessing a broken pre-war jet fighter doesn't exactly tickle my pickle, but on that note, I think there are a lot of missed opportunities here. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you could, say, climb the control tower and find a unique sniper rifle? Or Maybe an enemy vertibird lands while you clip an incoming force trying to take back the base. Maybe get some tech for the boomers or create an outpost. I don't know. Something, anything. I know it's not Fallout 4 and everything has to be action-packed, but I'd even take if you got to the top and a giant radroach nest then bursts forth from underground showing you its secret, and after collecting the weapon, it's only then that you fight off all the rad scorpions. Now, speaking of the control tower, maybe if there was a holo that recorded exactly how the crashed vertibird to the south came to be, and it led you to the crash site and prototype Tesla cannon, it would have been worthwhile to hop, skip and jump, tying the aeronautical themed locations together nicely. In summary, I think this area had potential that it never reached, and maybe that's a design choice in a game like Fallout, where there needs to be at least some areas that you stumble upon once, get punished for going there, only to ignore in later playthroughs, being conditioned as you've been stung by the developers. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.